Group 2 of the Wisdom of Thoth tournament. $1,000 are on the line in the entirety of this tournament. And in the blue color, we have got Nullus. He is playing as Ra. His opponent on the other side of Oasis, playing as Odin. This is Imenanigi. Hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. So, this tournament is still taking donations for your information, so $1,000 could be still further extended by the community should you all wish to do so. And also wanted to give a big shout out to all of our website subscribers for helping us keep going, pay the bills, make meta plays, do more of these tournaments. Now Pharaoh's looping around the main base, not finding much stuff. But you know what, if you want to find our website subscription thingy, you just gotta look at our about or description sections depending on where you are. Question in the chat, will there be a poll for this? Nope. The results are already known if you check the brackets, so check the brackets at your own risk. This is a replay cast. But it does mean that we're not gonna have pauses, we're not gonna have lag breaks or anything like that. And everything should be, relatively speaking, smooth. Speaking of smooth, I like the double Ulfsark start. The Norse players would do something like this so that they can find as many goats as possible here on Oasis. But it looks to me like Nullus has already got a good amount of 10 goats, which is equal. So 20 goats total on the map apparently. Oh, there's a bunch more. There's a bunch more that he can discover on the way home, so could pick up another 6. That's a pretty good number. Yeah, 16 to 10 goats, sounds good to me, but Ra always tends to grab those farms early on and go into rain. So that is one thing that we are most likely to see, is Nullus getting a second town center and then doing a 13, 14, maybe even 15 farm rain if he's really inclined to do it. And then going up heroic through Hathor is what happens almost every single time. In these cases, the rock is just way too useful to pass up, especially on Vubli, where Norse don't have a Boxviger. And so what what Odin can do, that's a bit of a wider range. I mean, you all must have noticed the exposed gold mine. It's covered by the tower, right? But there's not much else around here to help protect. Even the temple is being built in the bottom side of the map. So what Odin could do is go up through Heimdall. I highly doubt it. We're gonna check in a sec, but I highly doubt it's gonna happen. Undermine this tower, destroy buildings around it, and just gold starve our Ra player. The temple is not yet done, so the decision is still pending. But Imenanigi does have the food required to advance to the classical age and then some. We do have the triple ox cart, so we're not gonna chop the palm trees throughout Archaic Age. It's gonna be Freya, so yeah, everything's gonna be a little bit more standard than you might think. The house is being made at the right time as well, and that's still 10 goats? Wait, what happened here? Did our Egyptian player snag him? I don't see any goats. There's one. So neither pack was found yet. That's what happened. Well, no biggie. They can be found later too. Let's check what our Ra player Nullus is doing. Going up Ptah, as predicted. That's typically what you'll be doing for farmy builds. You can hunt a little longer. You could totally go for Bast and a little bit of Sphinx trading. Definitely within the realm of possibilities. Wooden walls coming up. So yeah, just being safe against those raids, huh? The Valkyrie can go across the map and maybe find the trees to burn. Oh, okay. It's being done preemptively by the by the Raven as soon as possible to just get rid of the lumber camp, and please tell me that fire will spread. Oh! Oh! The tree was chopped down! There was nothing to spread the fire to! Genius! We need to do this in real life. This Nullus guy is, wow. You know, some people are room temperature IQ. This guy is more like the core of the sun. 1,000,000 degrees. Let me tell you, that's hot. That is hot indeed. Shaduf has been researched already as well. But we're gonna finish up the goldies, and over here we can make the farms. Makes a lot of sense. He's spending all his gold, so the macro is clean. Love it, Nullus. Love it. Wonder if he would make an extra priest for the gold, though. It's been another bit of drop-offs, just to make sure that he can continue making villagers. So yeah, the macro is just super neat from Nullus. I love it. Love it so much. You guys know, if you research husbandry, your villagers have 15 extra food carrying capacity. That takes a long time to fill despite the increased gather rate. So sometimes you do have to manually pop off those resources into your buildings just so that you can maintain your clean production without idle time. So these are the things the players are currently thinking about. There's not going to be any base destruction here in the classical age, I don't think. The Boots of Kick everything is being picked up, which is very neat to have for these Odin Hershers. They're just only 4.2 speed. Definitely a painful amount, but plus 10% comes in handy. Longhouse is being made, the additional gold mines are being walled off, but then there's this one. Does Imenanigi know that? Yeah, he does. So the purpose of the walls would be, I suppose, to spot raids, but then there's the whole middle thing going on, and the rock can fly over them anyway. Information is power, so even though you won't be able to do much about it, it's definitely worth knowing about it. At least you can put some reactive units in position so that it's not so easy to rock chop around. And picking off that budget is also a relatively big play. Should be able to do it with the Valkyrie, just barely. Oh! Her attack is faster than the Vegets. Survives at 1 HP. What? If that can be healed up, great. I don't think he'll make a second Valkyrie for this. But it's so tempting. It's probably not gonna do it. Do it for the boys, Imenanigi. For the boys. Anyways, plow is certainly helping those farms. You never want to click rain without plow. That upgrade is just too nice to skip out on. Lots of goats being eaten all up. These two still not found, by the way. A little bit of berry picking. Yeah, take all that free food from the map. You absolutely should, even though the berries are being gathered from slowly. It's still worth it to actually consume them because you have to pay for the farms and that ain't cheap. There's also a bunch of chickens at home for later. Seeing some walling attempts from Nullus. We also have a barracks from him and a safe, a super safe Migdol. It's so safe, in fact. I'm kind of feeling like questioning, couldn't this have been put a little bit more forward? Just to further secure that gold mine. But Nullus is the pro. He knows what he's doing. Maybe he'll make a second one. And then the purpose is really to cover the TC. Making units anyway, and a lot of villagers are transitioning to this gold mine right now. 23 total. Will be put to the task. In terms of resources, he can definitely afford a second Migdol, so curious to see If that's happening, it's gonna be a siege works for now. And walling is complete, so the rock has been doing some shenanigans over here with the pistachio. However, not really able to do all that much damage. Gonna have to break through the walls first, which isn't gonna take terribly long. The gates have only 500 HP, so always attack the gates over the wall pieces, which have 600. Villager getting to work as well. Shifting sands? What? Oh my god. That's interesting. Did not expect this. Locust is great. Oh wow. Actually, it only killed one villager. The auto split is a god. Only 2 kills? That villager gets away too. So the ox cart might go down eventually, but the Pazukos needs to be saved against the hero. Nullus now in 3 TCs, he's doing a little bit of raiding. Flies over a hill fort. Unlike towers, hill forts don't do bonus against flying, so the rock can kind of take it for now. Worst locust of the tournament? Certainly not great. Certainly not great. He even loses the pistachio, so yeah, Nullus. I mean, macro-wise, he's doing just fine, right? The camels and the axemen will deal with Jarl and Ulfsark just fine. And he's got the TC over his opponent, which is nothing to scoff at. It's not that Mythic's on the way for our Norse player. But this whole rock drop and locust business, it didn't go his way. Might be able to take down that frost giant with the surround and the pharaoh. But so far this is a pretty even fight. Norse could definitely benefit here from Jarl upgrades. Bunch of throwing X-Men joining the fight is nice as well. And I really like that the hill fort is targeting down the pharaoh. Can't really take that. Hearing a lot of camels dying, guys. This is starting to be pretty brutal. You can't fight under fortress fire for that long, as it turns out, and the camels have been beaten back. I'm not sure when they got the heavy camels upgrade. It can't have been too long ago. But this whole thing has to go home now. Nullus has outlived his welcome for sure. Doesn't have a lot of resources and kind of needs to replace everything, but what he does have is a really sick amount of income. Look at that, he's got another gold mine. He's starting to work on his trades, so this is a really nice setup overall. Our Norse player also finally getting the 3rd TC, so they're definitely very behind on the villager mark. Let's quickly check that out actually. So civilian-wise, Nullus is maxed, and Imenanigi is at 54 right now. Having to resort to that bar in the replays because there was no observer, so we can't use the observer commands. Very sad. Send pizzas to help. Siege towers are doing some pretty good damage on this TC, getting it down to half health, but the villagers with their kitchen knives are just OP. You know what else you could use kitchen knives for? To cut pizza up. Oh yeah? But it seems like they just beat back the military units. It's a secondary purpose, I would say, but what do I know that the Age of Mythology developers didn't back in the day? Hey, the rock got taken down. Hey, Nanny J is hosting or raiding us. Thank you. welcome to everyone just joining. This is a Group 2 match from the Wisdom of Thoth tournament with a $1,000 prize pool. Group stages are like a mini double elimination for 4 players in each group. There's 8 groups, so 32 total players. Man, Nullus is getting wrecked in these fights. What is going on? But he's got the economy to get wrecked. It's okay. He can keep making the units back. Anyways, like I said, tons of players in this one. And there will be a single elimination stage after for the top 16. So 2 players per group will be advancing. And you guys just made it for the first one. So we're very much in the middle of this game, but it's a best of 3. Let's take a look at those economic upgrades we haven't all game. So we got the 2 axe upgrades. And for these guys, we got bow saw, we got normal pickaxe, plow. That's looking not too bad. The caravans are being wound up. I'd love to see that for our Norse player as well. What's going actually on with the population department? It looks like the 45 TC upgrade could not be afforded all this while. So both players are actually still on unfortified TCs. With Nullus being maybe a little bit closer to upgrading it. If he can stay just at full pop for a little bit, it would be very nice to see him raiding instead of committing to these direct battles, because what is he protecting in the end? It's these two barracks and 1 siege camp and this gold mine that no villagers are on yet, really. So imagine just splitting off 2 heavy camels and hitting this area, going after those ox carts would be so annoying. Finding these gold miners, like the camels have unmatched mobility in this matchup, 7.2 speed. You can do whatever you want, really, if you have the APM to control all of that. So that is something I'd love to see from Nullus, and maybe he'll consider it. But this is a very direct, I'm gonna out macro you and shove units down the middle, and you're gonna have to deal with it kind of a strategy right now that he's doing. Rare DNA says missing the Halo Wars 2 content. Hey, that will be back. So as soon as next week, I think we are going to start back the Amateur League. And then after the Amateur League's over, we're obviously renewing Halo Wars. So it's gonna be back. We just need to strategize a bit about Halo Wars 2. What is my favorite part of the Tier 6 Metaplay subscription on the website? It's the playing together part. So those subscribers can get our time for an hour to play and an additional hour for coaching, or swap them out for each other. So you can get 2 hours of coaching or 2 hours of playing, whatever you like. That one. That one's cool, I think. Did it once with Scorpion Laws, we have to do it again. Gonna message him after this. Into you. So, meanwhile, Nullus' macro has completely gone out of control. This man is... he's sweating money right now. Gonna break through the walls, and there's the raids. 7.2 speeds, as I said. There's a bunch of upgrades I've went through. He's got the Mithril Horseshoes relic. That's why he's so fast. You gotta go fast. Now that thing even affects the cavalry. Merc Cav, more like Sonic. Ooh, this TC is actually in a little bit of trouble. Might go down there. Oh! The freeze came through just in the last possible second, but the Spearman should still be able to finish it, and meanwhile the raid is continuing. 16 health, 10 health, somebody repair it! Oh, it's repairing! Oh, the TC is alive! Are you kidding me? Fortified! It's safe. It's been saved. Imenanigi, absolute Giga Chad. Nullus never had a chance. What was I talking about this whole time? Nah, I'm just kidding. Nullus is totally fine. He can do this all day. Go full Captain America on Imenanigi, but where is the Mythic Age? That's the next kind of thought I'm having. It's still auto-queuing a lot of units. Sorry, villagers. And units, actually. 150 population. That means we're missing a house. And the ox cart goes down, so that means that the dwarves end up having to fight the camels. They can do so kinda okay. And I just heard the market completing. Where is the market? Over here. Yeah. Osiris has come through. Didn't check the TC in a while. Well, the Son of Osiris will make short work of this army. We're gonna have to see Ragnarok to bring this game back because there's too much damage being brought through from Nullus. He just did way too much work with these camelries. And you know, killing so many units throughout the game while being so well established as Ra. I mean, you're gonna have to fight Magi Mercs very soon. And highly upgraded units. Look at this Congo line of trade, it's absolutely bonkers. How much is it carrying? 107 gold? Jeez. If that was empowered, it would be even more getting dropped off. Son of Osiris has some pretty good upgrades from the armory, so a little more survivable against these attacks. But the TC is shooting, which hurts a lot. So you gotta be careful with that. You can't really heal him back up either. And he gets frozen, which means that every single shot will do 1 damage. Now, the villagers are returning back for whatever reason. I kind of feel like this is a drop-off mechanic used to help with Ragnarok. Oh boy. Everything's being dropped off. These two, please. The wood is taken care of, it's just the farms. Ah, he didn't drop off. That would have been like 200 resources at least. Anyways, the selection limit is 30, so you have to grab those Ragnarok heroes several times. By the time Frost expires, some of them will be here. Son of Osiris should be like totally surrounded, so if Nullus doesn't have a rock out, he won't be able to save the Birdman. Indeed, it seems that way. He does not have a rock, he's surrounded. Son of Osiris trying to teleport into the Migdol makes it happen. Can he pop out on the far side real quick? No, he's getting walled in by the Norse gamer. And the Ragnarok heroes will surround the Son of Osiris as well. Yeah, he can't make it out of here. Gets cut down, but there are champion Axemen ready to face this. They also have bronze mail, so the upgrades are looking pretty good, if I might say so myself. Would like to see a handful of chariots as opposed to camels. Oh, the pathing issues though. There are too many units, he has to delete walls. Age of Mythology does not deal well when you mass units too much in one location. So yeah, the pathing can completely break during these big Ragnaroks, and splitting them up is really the way to go. Nullus has not fortified this, he didn't have stone walls done, I don't think yet. But now he does, so breaking through this location will be difficult. There are 10 villagers here. They won't be able to save themselves, also the fire giant helping out a lot against all these axemen. Other TC should be destroyed, it seems. I think this is going on. Damn, Nullus is still making caravans, the absolute madness. I can't believe he's doing that. This thing might actually damage a lot of these units, I would say. Like, there's 8 axemen around here already. The heroes can't fight this. They barely have any upgrades. I mean, they have the boots of kick everything, so they can run away pretty good at 5.28 speed. They're just gonna turn and fight the axemen. There's an infinite tide of that. Gonna be a tough one to do any real lasting damage from here on out. Especially with the Mummy taking care of the fire giant, that's it. The Norse economy needs to be rebuilt. Can Imenanigi do that? So far his population is still above the limit, But he's not gonna have that many resources to add back into the pot for remaking what once was. Even with this TC destroyed, even with the caravans having to take the long way back. This is still not looking too bad for Nullus. He's got 1,000 gold in the bank. He's got more gold here. He destroyed his market, so this is the market that he'll be using from now. And he can make backups to the backup. You know, he could make a small market in the back and just go to here. Got enough gold for now to survive. And the stone walls aren't easy to break through, not with the champion X-Men chasing this Ragnarok group around. Every pickoff he gets him closer to victory at this point. The villagers have broken through, they can remake the market, but I think first they're gonna get the TC, which is totally logical after all. This group has been beaten back, or at least forced to move up here. So we only have one major Ragnarok army left. Nullus maintaining the 140 population mark, whereas Imenanigi is also at the 150 pop right now and dropping, starting to train villagers. Can't really spend that 100 favor he's got. He's not making any myth units because he probably needs dwarves. Dropping in population extremely rapidly now. The X-Men have been more highly upgraded. Bronze weapons and scalloped axe are done. Even Iron Mail is done, so these hack damage units aren't doing too much against them anymore. Let me tell you, the Muscaras aren't gonna change that. Frost Giant being the only threatening unit left, Nullus is happy to fight now with the villagers, as it will allow the Migdol to keep shooting from a distance. The chariots can do the same. It's a little awkward for the caravans to run through here, but the backup market, or the new market, is being made. And the Norse army has been completely beaten back. Nullus has a third TC again. He can just make a siege works now and do a catapult push right up here. Wall up. And just slowly creep forward until the TCs are destroyed. He can intercept the trade route with the chariots. What is there really left to say? What is there left to do for Imenanigi? Probably not much. Hell, you could make a single catapult here and just cover with the army. You don't even need buildings at this point, and this TC could fall. I really don't like Imenanigi's chances. Maybe the Nullus is even gonna attack this with just the X-Men, considering how he's moving around. Caravans have been restored to the original path. Right now, the gold they carry isn't much, but next trip, that's where it's at. Remember, gamers, always put your markets in the corner as far as you can away from your TC. This is not financial advice. Just what I do. Alright, there's a tower push. The normal watchtowers for now. But I question for how much longer that Nullus is itching to get those ballista towers out. But he's gonna be denied as Imenanigi hands him the win. Yeah, there was an attempt here from our Norse player. The push was looking okay. Just wasn't quite able to deliver the killing blow with the Ragnarok. Kinda needs some kind of pushing power with that. If you click it in immediately in Mythic, you don't really have that many units to actually threaten with. A bunch of fire giants, a bunch of ballista can go a long way. Even rams. Even rams can do a lot. Nullus, blue color. Hades. Imenanigi, Odin, red. So we got a little bit of forward hunting, which is pretty normal for Greek to do. Actually, many CFs kind of do this, but I especially like it for Greek because their early game is certainly less aggression heavy. Norse just gets to a higher pop count faster, so you'll be kept at home short of like your initial heroes knocking the Norse off hunt, that can result in the reverse effect. So maybe there's potential for a Greek player to take over. But if you're doing this, you're just playing it safe and making sure that you get the outside hunt first. And when you get knocked off because the Norse population explodes in early classical, you can go home and still find some hunt, which is great. Better gather rates than pigs. So that's some good stuff to enjoy for sure. Odin hunts fast, so there's that whole advantage of only having to put the 3 villagers on hunt, and you got some pretty decent income even with that. Probably looking for a quick advance here. On March, we've got full relic, we've got the toothed arrows with additional damage for archers. And ballista should we get there. We got the Pandora's box for making training speed. Then we got the Trios bow for archer range. Stack the archer stuff for Hades. That's an actual strat. Boots of kick everything for hero speed. Imagine how fast that Achilles and Chiron would be. Well over 6 speed indeed. Goldmine locations are not particularly friendly to our Norse player. There's nothing in the back of the base. There's nothing behind the second town center. In fact, this town center, the only nice thing I can say about it is that it's got some corner trees and it's got a great location for trade. And in fact, we can say the same about Nullus except for the lack of a forest here. In fact, we can say that Nullus doesn't have a whole lot of forests that are at home and safe. So forest fire can have a pretty large impact here, opening up the entirety of the front of his base. That would be actually very nice to see here from Imenanigi. And I'm fairly certain he's going to be advancing Freya shortly. Once he has the food. Just going to finish this dwarf. We're going to have a nice 4-minute 20-ish advance. 4:15, nice. Nullus probably gonna go with Athena in this one. But I also wouldn't be shocked if it's Ares. Generally speaking, Athena is a little better. Oh. Yeah, there it is. Getting Ajax out and then Athena. Getting the boots of kick everything relic. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Get that super speedy Chiron. Now I'm gonna fight the Herseer. You guys can see there's a massive stat difference here, so fighting with the Herseer, not the best. Even with the healing, the in-combat healing is actually not so good. Second Herseer, now that's something. That will take care of pretty much everything here. Ajax has to go back home. And this gives the opportunity for our Odin player to pick up the relics. At least to deny it to Hades would be nice. Because you really don't want to deal with Hades super archers that are beefed up on top of that. Chiron being made immediately, that will help a lot against these. Hell, Chiron can even hit a moving Valkyrie. Because he's got 6 track ratings, so... chasing her around at the exact same speed is definitely something you want to do. See, even at her full speed, he can figure out how to miss the shots, right? Anyway, he got 1 hit in, that's a good start. Keeps going now. Now, are we going to see additional production buildings? Yes, we got archery ranges on top of the military academy, so... double archery, wanna see a lot of raiding cav and throwing axemen, but Is Imenanigi really able to sustain 3 buildings at the same time? I would say not yet. There's a forest fire that we were talking about. It opens up the base nicely, but Nullus prepares his buildings in a fashion that they don't get hurt by the forest fire. And it still ends up being a natural wall. Adding a little bit of wall pieces to this, and he should be pretty much good to go. We got the raiding cavalry throwing axemen combination coming out. And it seems like that's just about what can be sustained for Imenanigi. So that is great to see. There is no pickaxe or anything like that. Which would have been nice to see though. Well, I guess there are oh, that's beautiful actually, splitting off the villagers before the hunt completely finishes up. Those little macro moves are so important. Nullus trying to get one of these raiding cavalry horned up, but it's just not happening. It's a little too slow, just by a moment. Ah well. Wow, this sentinel can't shoot to save its own life. Well, to be honest, being on a pedestal like that for your whole existence doesn't sound very glamorous. I kinda get it. Maybe it's better to just not exist at all. This has gotten dark. Speaking of dark, here's some shades that should help a little bit. But the villagers with their kitchen knives are still gonna struggle a little bit against the Valkyrie. One of them should be picked off here, and if Imenanigi can pull back still, the raiding cav can always heal up later. It's just that Nullus is attacking pretty hard. Oh, that's a surround if we've ever seen one. Too bad it's mostly hoplites that the raiding cav are trying to attack. Really good move getting them to walk around instead of fight during the restoration. And the surround still stays strong, but I think there might be just a little bit too much Nullus here. The throwing axeman will certainly turn the fight around, however, and Imenanigi might be able to hold now. Without too many losses. He lost quite a bunch of raiding cav though, like I see 6 corpses I think. So still a decent deal for Nullus overall. But he has been forced to use a god power on a pretty small army. So is a good resource trade really important there? Probably not. I think Imenanigi has got to be happy with how that went. Toxodis are trying to snipe out the throwing axes. Now they're sniping everything. Raiding cav are gone. It's always a really tough decision to try to engage with them before the medium cavalry upgrade is done. They just get such a nice increase on pretty much everything when the upgrade completes, but without that, they are paper. Same can be said about the throwing axemen. They also quite badly need medium infantry, especially against these Hades Toxodis, who have the relic after all. Yeah, that's not gonna be easy to deal with. And if they had the relic with the extra range too, oh boy. That would be something. Shade is gonna be our hoplite at home. Minotaur killing several units, and finally the medium raiders are in. So you can immediately see they have the extra 10 hit points, they have the extra 0.8 attack. That kind of stuff helps a lot, and they have more vision range too, which is not irrelevant. Imenanigi trying to mass up a bigger force. Might be able to do so. He's currently got more than enough houses, so that would not be the priority, I think, right this second. Doesn't have much resource in the bank. Here come the villagers. Where are they trying to go? Are we going to the next gold mine? Oh, looks like it. looks like it. There's 9 dwarves currently garrisoned and they're not gathering, which means that Nullus can just keep building up this already terrifying death ball of 17 medium Toxotes. And it just keeps going. More houses are coming in as he reaches full population. Gonna be blocked for a few sec, but totally acceptable amount of time. Catching a bunch of hunters. Oh, they're toast. Medium infantry is in for our Greek player, still not done for our Norse. And fighting right on top of the gold mine. Actually, that might be a little bit of a mistake. As the dwarves come in, they bear in mind they have more hit points than normal villagers, so they should be able to use their kitchen knives to great effect here, killing a lot of the Toxotes as they're distracted in every which way. They're kind of spreading their damage across all these units and not really killing that many. A lot of the raiding cavalry have died, but every Toxotes is going down. Still, Nullus has so much left, and the Congo line would have continued anyway, even if the entire army was gone. So, Imenanigi just ending up not having enough population to beat this back, and it really showed itself in that last fight with how much Nullus had left. I like to move with the kitchen knives at the end, but 61 kills to 39, you can't bring that back. Like I said, during the restoration and even before that, Nullus just killed way too much. This guy's pretty good. We want to thank our MetaPlace website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep the project sustainable. As we reach higher subscription goals, you are helping us cover more and more behind-the-scenes costs, such as video editing. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.